How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What's up, Will?
What up?
Everybody, welcome to another week of Story of the Fight, where we talk all things MMA, boxing, and other randomness that pops into our head.
Yeah.
Will, my name's Ramiro. This is Will. I love talking to you about something that I'm like really into right before, and then Rich turns on the countdown and it just cuts it off mid-sentence.
Cuts off.
It's okay, because now it's time to start talking all things fights. It was so funny. All right, but if anybody likes any of our content, please like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell that's somewhere around there so you get notified whenever we go live. If you're like, you know what, I don't like the way these guys look. I just don't like their faces, but I like to hear what they say. Spotify, Breaker, Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found.
Yeah, we're on social media at Story of the Fight on Instagram, Twitter. There's a Facebook group chat, Story of the Fight chat. There's a TikTok account is it active?
Yeah. Speaking of, I posted the first video today where I was like, hey, everybody follow us. You know?
Oh,
well, dude, it's the first one. It's introductory one. You know, we're not going to just jump right into it, dude.
Yeah, why start with a banger?
Yeah. Why take the UFC's plan and start with bangers, dude? Why do that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, but yeah, follow us on YouTube. Rich, the producer's in the background, Richie Casual, and he's saying make sure that we talk about our YouTube sub count.
Yeah, I think we're at 255 right now. We've been growing a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been inching our way.
We'll support you any way possible. You support us back. We love you.
Yeah, and if you don't like us, just tell us. So that
tell us why.
Comments. Yeah.
Tell us why. But last night, UFC 271, pretty good card. A lot of fights to talk about.
Yeah.
What do you think of the card overall?
It was good. It was a good card. It was the pay-per-view part of it did really well, I thought. I feel like it kind of got like the main event of the prelims and the main event of the pay-per-view were not as crazy as the rest of the fights. So the last impression of the prelims probably wasn't the greatest for everybody. The last impression of the pay-per-view, I don't think a lot of people were super stoked on how it went down.
So
but outside, the UFC kind of ended on a bitter note for both like cards. But overall, the card was the whole night was really good, I thought.
I agree. Now, we'll start off with Israel Adesanya versus Bobby Knuckles. Adesanya. Robert Whittaker versus Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
Man. Yes, this is the second one. First one, for anybody that might have missed it, Bobby Knuckles got knocked out by Adesanya. So going into this, I figured, okay, this is going to be a different fight. This is going to be a different fight. It's going to be a longer fight, more grueling fight. Mm-hmm. You know, Izzy, as always. Hey, do we have any pictures for this one? We might. There it is. But there they are.
Yeah. So how about this? That chain that Izzy's wearing right there?
Yeah.
There's a screen in the piece there, and it's an NFT of him celebrating the knockout over Whittaker. Yeah. And the face off right before the face off, he turns it off, so it's not just like in Whittaker's face.
Really?
Like
he turned
blank.
It off.
Yeah. So it was just blank. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, why wear it if
Francis
you're not going to
Ngannou did the same thing, right? He had his little NFT chain on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But did he turn it off?
No. It was on full blast. I think he actually turned the brightness up.
Yeah. But, he's holding it up in the stare down.
Yeah, exactly. But man, I knew Izzy always does a very good job of controlling the distance and doing just enough with his footwork to be able to bounce back and try to counter. That's how he caught Whittaker the very first time. When Whittaker comes in wild, he steps back and he gets him with the left hook, like a shovel hook. Mm-hmm. That dropped Whittaker. Solid leg kicks by Adesanya all night.
That's about it.
And that's about it, right? I mean, he had some counters in there too. Bobby Knuckles was wearing them on his face. And then the wrestling from Whittaker.
Yeah, pretty much. And the jab from Whittaker.
Yes.
The jab. Robert right off the bat, I know we complain about it all the time. Bisping was awful during this fight. He's just talking about how like Whittaker's not doing anything, all this crazy shit. How it's not like he's just not doing anything. He outstruck him in the last 2 rounds and took him down in both of them. I don't really know what else you have to do to win rounds, but Whittaker for some reason or Bisping just didn't like acknowledge that. So I think a lot of people thought it was more one-sided than it really was. This was a toss-up for me. When it came to the scorecards, a complete toss-up. I had Izzy clearly winning round 1. Right, he outstruck him completely and he dropped him. I had Whittaker clearly winning rounds 4 and 5, with 2 and 3 could have been either way. It depends what you like. Do you like leg kicks? Do you like jabs and takedowns? Because that's pretty much how those 2 rounds went. They were so close. I don't know. This is one that I really want to rewatch. Live, I had it going to Izzy, but now that I'm looking at the stats, Whittaker, he definitely won 2 rounds. I don't know if he won a third, though. He definitely won the last 2 rounds, though.
I think 48-47 was fair.
48-47,
I think it could have gone 48-47 exactly either way.
Yeah.
If they would have given it to Whittaker and said 48-47. I had some friends over last night, and by this time I was already, I think, 4 glasses of whiskey in.
Yeah.
So as far as like a breakdown of exactly what happened, guys, I'm not gonna be able to give it to you. But I do remember very clearly telling all my friends, I said, hey, I don't know. Like, this could go either way right now. This was a very close fight. And like I heard some of them talking about the takedown, stuff like that. The only thing is that you never know with these judges. Are these judges going to take a look at the takedown and say, hey, that was a solid takedown, he won the round because of that takedown? Or are these judges going to say, hey, it was a takedown, but Izzy got right back up? So I'm really not counting it, because there's a few times where he did get Izzy down and Izzy popped right back up. So how much do those specific judges value that takedown?
Yeah. So you want to know what's weird about that is, so in the second round, right, Whittaker took down Izzy once. He held him for 52 seconds. In the 5th round, he also got outstruck that round, right? By a small margin, Izzy outstruck him, Robert took him down, held him down for 52 seconds. Mike Beltran was judging. I didn't know he judged, but Mike Beltran was judging last night. He judged this fight. He gave round 2 to Whittaker, right? So small striking discrepancy.
Mike Beltran judged?
So did Dan Murgliata. I didn't know they were judging, but they both judged last night, throughout the night.
So they would like hop in and like
sometimes they're reffing,
change their outfit, and then like like throw a suit on, a blazer, and just like go start judging. No, but you know what? I'm fine with that, because we need more judges and to be like refs and ex-fighters and stuff like that.
It definitely is better than just like some official from the athletic commission, right?
Sal D'Amato.
Yeah, but so Beltran gives Whittaker round 2, right? He got outstruck slightly, but he took him down. He gave him that round, hold him down for a minute. He didn't give Whittaker the 5th round, where he took him down and held him down for even longer. So it's like, I don't know what he was seeing in rounds 2 and 5 that were different. Because
I can't think of any more significant strikes from Izzy in the 5th.
No, and he also didn't give Whittaker the 4th, where Whittaker outstruck him and took him down and held him down for 40 seconds.
Interesting.
So it's interesting to see. I mean, it's live, right? So he doesn't have access to the stats. And also, I don't fully believe in the stats. I think they're wrong. I've gone back and like tallied stuff myself, and the UFC stats didn't match what I got when I was like trying to be even conservative with what I'm giving somebody. But it is what it is. Izzy still remains the champ. But this fight kind of went how I thought it was going to go. I thought they were going to be much more patient. After the first round, I was like, oh, Izzy might actually finish him in this fight. But then after that first round, it was razor close throughout.
Whittaker settled down, man. And he started finding a way to be able to close that gap and that distance without getting tagged with a counter.
Well, he did what he needed to do, which is at least show the takedown. Because in the first fight, every time he came in, it was blitzing with that combo that he always blitzes with. So Izzy knows, cool, every time he blitzes, I can throw my counter. Now, every time he blitzes, it's either a shot or that combo. So Izzy can't just defend that combo, because then his legs are open. And Izzy can't just defend those takedowns, because then the combo's open. So it's like just him entering and getting his hands on him for the takedown, even if he doesn't get it, that alone will make this fight more of a chess match because now Izzy has to guess when he blitzes. It's not just one thing, And so I thought Whittaker's game plan was really good, really good,
and he did a good job executing it.
Yeah, I think he did too. Yeah, especially after that first round.
We're talking the two best middleweights in the world right now.
Yeah,
going at it.
And it's not even close. It's not even close.
We haven't seen Khamzat in there yet.
Yeah. You see he tweeted about it and he was like, 0 takedowns from this guy. Yeah, easy money. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe a Hasbulla. I don't know.
Hasbulla those in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's going to beat Adesanya.
This was a chess match. It was a chess match. And, you hear some booing by fans at the end. But Izzy just signed a multi-million-dollar deal. He is wanting to cement his legacy as one of the best middleweights ever. He doesn't have to go in there and throw caution to the wind all the time. I saw Michael Chandler posted something saying like, "Hey, dude, you just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, bro. Like, come on." Like, essentially telling him,
do there and pick people apart with leg kicks and cement your legacy with championship wins on leg kicks. It's like, yeah, dude. Look how you're.
How's it working out for you, dog?
Exactly. Yeah. You want to preach your own success? Come on.
And then Gaethje also chimed in and said rounds 3, 4, and 5 for Whittaker. So
again, you could argue that it was a close fight.
Just like anybody else, though, people value certain things within the octagon differently, and we see it in judges, we see it in fighters, we see it in fans like us, right? So I don't know. It was close.
Yeah, one thing that I will say is the takedowns, right? They didn't mean much. They didn't accomplish much, right? He didn't get successful ground and pound off of him. He did almost get it. He took his back and almost got a choke at one point. Yeah, very close, very quickly.
So he threatened.
Threatened something, right? But in a round where it's so close on the strikes and nobody's really doing damage, right? The leg kicks were damaging early, but in those later rounds, the leg kicks didn't really seem to be doing as much damage as they were, right? So, because you value damage first. So it's like these leg kicks that aren't doing much or this jab that really isn't affecting Izzy throughout the fight. And they're very close numbers-wise. And what you're technically supposed to do when they're close numbers-wise and you can't really decide who gets the edge there, that's the only time when octagon control comes into play. And Izzy was in the center for the most of the fight. Yeah. So I don't know if that's what swayed it, right? He had the commanding presence, very evenly matched on points, takedowns, striking, right? Rob got the takedowns. Izzy outstruck him technically. Do we fall back to the octagon control? Maybe. I don't know.
The urgency that Izzy came out in the 5th with, and I wasn't really paying attention to the corners and what they were covering with him, but you saw that urgency in Izzy. The way that he was faster to pressure coming straight out of the corner. And then after that, as soon as he hopped back to avoid a shot from Whittaker, he would speed walk back up to keep Whittaker up against the fence, right? So I don't know.
Because that's those rounds where you have to, right? It's the little things that, especially, and Izzy's such a master, man. He knows that in these close fights, it's the little things that are going to separate you. Yeah,
he's got
really good.
High level, dude. All right.
You could see even when he was in a position that he didn't want to be in, the way he would just maneuver back to the position to set that trap and just stick with that game plan was, it's his ringsmanship, right? We need a new word for that for MMA, but because they're not in a ring. But
octagonmanship?
Yeah, octagonsmanship. Really good from Adesanya.
But it was good, absolutely. Anything else on the main event?
Did you see what Bobby Knuckles said after?
That he feels like he won the fight and that a third fight is inevitable?
That, but he also said he feels like he won the fight. He did enough to win. He's not mad at the decision, but because he feels like he did enough to win, he feels very content, with himself. I think losing to Izzy the way that he lost was very much eating at him. You know what I mean?
Oh, we have C. Fred coming through cagemanship.
It's better than octagonmanship.
Octagonmanship, and trying to say that on the podcast, I don't know, man.
Cagemanship's not bad.
I like that. You know what? We might use that going forward.
Yeah, Izzy a master at cagemanship.
I love
Even that's a little difficult to say though.
It is. Cagemanship. Better than octagonmanship. All right.
Yeah.
Before that, this fight, Tai Tuivasa versus Derek Lewis. That's what I put down. Everyone called Derek Lewis takedowns, right?
I thought going into this, man, Derek Lewis hits so hard And it's the same thing that I thought when he took on Dawkins, because Dawkins is this high-touted prospect, right? He has great hands, great footwork for a heavyweight, all this stuff, but he's hittable. Every time he fights, he gets hit, and you can't be hittable against someone like Derek Lewis because he'll put your lights out. And I thought kind of the same thing with Tai in this fight, right? When he hurts people, he gets careless, he comes in, and he gets rocked, right? It happens almost all of his fights. So I was like, you can't do that against Derek Lewis. He'll put you out. And then he was like, all right, I'll get tossed in my face a couple times, eat some massive shots in this position.
Huge shots.
When he got up from this position and was eating those shots and immediately, instead of retreating,
now real quick, when you're saying this position, he's trying to get back up from being taken down here.
He's cage walking. Yeah, cage walking. Derek Lewis almost is like in a half guard position type thing as he's coming up, and he's lighting him up with monster right hands. I thought he was about to drop. But Tai got up, and instead of retreating or shelling, he just dug in and went toe to toe with him. And I was like, you know what?
Yes.
Tai might have this, because if he faded there or shelled up or tried to evade, Derek Lewis would have finished him. He would have chased him down. The follow-up shots would have dropped him because he would have been off balance, out of position. But instead, he dug deep. And I was like, oh, Tai might be a contender now. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. That was nuts, man.
You know how much I have loved Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah.
I've been the biggest Tai Tuivasa fan for the longest time. Shout out to my boy Bunzel, by the way, who I was talking to on the phone. Like, we're in the middle of a conference call, and Bunzel's a big MMA fan as well. He listens to the podcast, by the way, so shout out Bunzel.
Comment sometime.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I know. Hey, join us live, though. And then, and we were talking about this fight specifically. And I told him, I said, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Tai Tuivasa won. And I said, if he wins, I'm going to celebrate by either getting a FTA tattoo under my lip, or I bust out a shoey.
Oh, full screen it, Rich. Full screen it, Rich.
The podcast, dude. You know, I don't know. Let's have at it. Dude, Tai Tuivasa,
pull the
my
belt
man.
Down. Show the belt off.
So excited. Dude, that's why you're the champ, dude. Doing champ shit, you know what I mean? Wipe this off. Dude, seriously, one of the things that you called out right now, Tai Tuivasa is one of those guys that when he gets in trouble, he bites down on his mouthpiece and he just goes to war. Derek Lewis has a history of not liking to get hit.
Yeah, he shies away a little bit, right?
He shies away a little bit. And that's why he's extra cautious. Now, I think of some of the biggest power hitters in the history of MMA. God damn, I got some of that drink on my seat now. My fucking crotch is all wet. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do for that chewy. These things happen when you're podcasting. No, but you think of like an Ngannou, okay? Ngannou, when he fought Rosenstruck, he's throwing caution in the wind, he gets tagged by Rosenstruck.
Yeah, a couple times.
He's gotten tagged by Stipe. He doesn't mind getting hit. He will get hit to give you a harder shot.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis is very tentative when he approaches. He cocks his right hand back. He slowly creeps up on you. And as soon as he feels like you're moving forward, he doesn't mind taking a step back and trying to counter.
Yep.
Okay, but he doesn't like those wild exchanges.
No.
And Tuivasa, that's where he thrives, man. That's where he thrives. The other thing, Tai Tuivasa started training with AKA. He's been on back and forth with AKA.
Yeah.
So he doesn't mind that clinch up against the cage anymore. He doesn't mind trying to wrestle. He embraces it. So what's one of the easiest ways to nullify a big power puncher?
Yeah.
Make it dirty. Put him up against the cage. Close that gap, right? And then Derek Lewis surprised everybody and said, hey, let me take you down real quick and show you I got some real skills. But Tai Tuivasa did not give a shit, man. Props to Tai Tuivasa. I was so excited, man, doing it for the area. And just so we know, I did that shoey with these LeBrons, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to throw them away. Not going to lie. I can't stand LeBron. Put it on the shelf? Put it on the shelf? No, dude. Because then I'm showcasing a LeBron shoe, and I can't stand LeBron. I should have never purchased those shoes, man. Screw LeBron. Anyways.
But like what you said about him thriving in that, in the moment, it immediately reminded me of Teddy Atlas. And Teddy Atlas will say this thing about some guys, that some guys are firefighters and some guys aren't. Right? LeBron sucks. But right? Some guys are firefighters. Some guys will walk through that fire. Dustin Poirier is one of those guys. Tai Tuivasa is one of those guys. Like when it starts coming back to them, he will walk through the fire. Some guys don't. Some guys shy away from it, and that's fine, right? You have some guys have to, right? Andrei Arlovski, he can't embrace that fire anymore. He used to, but he can't anymore. He knows he can't.
I mean, he's 43 years old, and he's taking a lot of shots to that chin.
Exactly, right? That walking through that fire does not lead to a long career usually, but Tai Tuivasa walked through the fire, and goddamn, the elbow that put Derek Lewis out. Holy shit! Rich, can you bring up that picture again of him landing the elbow up against the cage?
But the thing is that, like, I don't remember what shot he landed. He landed a shot right before that, which if you take a look at Lewis's eyes, he was already rocked. And he had the ability to put his hand up against his neck. And he kept his head there and just nailed him, man, right by the temple.
Elbow straight through him. Like, that was nut. And then you see him just go straight. That was crazy.
FTA that was, for the area.
Yeah. That was, I mean, that was like, that's what you want in a heavyweight fight, right? Swinging and banging, and two titans, two like Goliaths of human beings just swinging at each other until one of them drops. And that's, I mean, goddamn. And tough go for Derek Lewis, right? He's been now finished twice in Texas. Back
in
to back,
Houston.
Back-to-back Texas performances taken out. And that's why I was kind of surprised he took this fight, because after that fight, he said the pressure of fighting in Texas was too much for him. And then immediately signs a fight to fight in Texas.
Well, a couple things with that. Money talks, and then this was a 3rd-round fight instead of a 5-round fight.
True, right? Those are two big things. And he can maybe capitalize on beating somebody who's really like doing well and has some momentum. But I believe Tai Tuivasa also broke a pretty significant streak in Derek Lewis's career that goes all the way back to 2015 when Rousey beat Zingano at UFC 184. That was his first UFC fight in February, right? He knocked out Ron Potts. The next time he fought in February, he knocked out Damian Grabowski. Then he fought in February again against Travis Brown. We don't know how that went. He murdered him, right? And then called out his wife. And then in 2018, he fought in February against Marcin Tybura, and he knocked him out. And then in 2020, he fought in February against Ilir Latifi, and he beat him. Then in 2021, he knocked out Curtis Blades in February. So it was 6 Februarys in a row. He has never lost in February until now.
Damn.
Sorry that was long-winded, but I feel like it's significant.
You just threw like one of those random ESPN stats on us. You know?
I know, yeah. First guy since Babe Ruth to home run twice in a game in February after sitting out the previous game.
Yeah, super random. Super random. But happy for Tai Tuivasa. He's going to shoot up those rankings, man.
Mm-hmm. Well,
at this
Dana
point,
said in the post-fight press conference that he's now like in the mix of like five through 3. So if you look at the rankings, I mean, heavyweight, it's kind of a question mark right now because Francis is going to be out. They said like 8 to 10 months. So they'll probably do an interim title fight. I'm guessing it'll be Stipe versus John or Stipe versus Cyril. It's got to be one of those 2 fights that they're going to do. So Lewis maybe fights whoever isn't in that mix, or he's going to have to fight someone. I mean, you can't give him Curtis Blades again, right? He just knocked him out. Or no, I'm sorry. Derek Lewis knocked him out. Volkov is probably what you do. Mm-hmm. I think Volkov has a fight, though, coming up, doesn't he?
Oh, I don't remember.
But that's what you do, right? If I'm the UFC, I'm not giving him Curtis Blades. Volkov is fighting Aspinall. So if Volkov gets past Aspinall, maybe you do that. That's in March, so it's not too far off, right? That might line up actually perfectly if he gets past him. But if I'm the UFC, I'm not giving Tai Tuivasa Curtis Blades. I'm not doing that because they have something with Tai, and they've given favorable matchmaking before to guys that they see that in, and I'm sure they see the marketing in Tai. Right, the shoey's massive. He's promoting his own beer after the fight with his shoey with the 2 shoes, saying his brand, genius. He got Dana to do a shoey at the post-fight press conference. Like he got you to do one right now in our podcast. Like don't give him some elite wrestler, right?
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Let's keep this train going.
Because the UFC, it's sport, right? There's matchmaking, there's rankings, there's all this stuff. There's some integrity there, but they do definitely lean towards the marketing hype trains, and I don't think they'll kill the hype. I mean, I don't think anybody, people saw a path to victory for Tai in this fight, but how many people actually picked him to win it? You know what I mean? How many people went out on a limb and said, that's who I think is going to win this fight?
Yeah.
This is a monumentous win for Tai.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he just took out the knockout, the UFC knockout king, the guy with the most knockouts. He just knocked him out.
I mean, it says it on his chest, knockout king.
Yeah. And what is Tai now? Is that 6 in a row, 5 in a row?
I think 5. Let's check.
I mean, people wrote him off when he lost that 3 in a row.
5 in a row. Stefan Struve, Harry Hunsucker, what a name. Greg Hardy, Augusto Sakai, and now Derek Lewis.
Yeah, and before that streak, it was a 3-fight loss streak.
Yeah. Yep. So, hey, super excited again. Can't wait to see what the future holds for our shoey friend in Tai Tuivasa. All right. Cannonier versus Brunson.
That's my boy.
Cannonier.
I love Cannonier. I don't know why. His conspiracy theories are crazy. He's all into crystals, all this shit. But he's into crystals? Knocks people out. Oh, dude, he's like super into crystals.
What?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's wearing a necklace with a crystal on it in this photo.
He might be. Either that or a fang.
Hey, shout out Cannonier. His Instagram page is fucking awesome.
I'm going to have to start following him. But hey, dude, this was another case of a fight where we knew exactly what both fighters wanted to do going in. And it was just a matter of who's going to be able to impose their will.
Yeah, and after that first round, I thought Brunson is going to take this. I was like, I was really rooting for Cannonier. Shout out Derek Brunson. He's on a great streak right now. He's done some amazing things late in his career. But after that first round, I was a little not disappointed, but I was a little bummed that it looked like it was going the way that it was going. I think I've always been kind of anti. This isn't fair to him, but Derek Brunson killed my heroes. So I've always had a grudge against him, right? The way he beat Chris Lieben way back in the day really bummed me out. And then they gave him Lyoto Machida when Lyoto Machida was like very much done. And I think he finished him with those elbows on the ground. And I was like, fuck this dude. I'll never be a fan of him because he's killing my heroes. Yeah. And it's through no fault of his own, right? It's just stupid. But after, I've always kind of rooted for him to lose because of that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
But yeah, after that first round, he kept taking.
You got what you wanted. Are you happy?
This was almost like cathartic for me to see just the way the finish went, because it was so similar to the way he finished Lyoto that I was kind of like, that's my boy. Cannonier's my dog.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, you have Brunson, who in the first round went through, got a takedown. He threatened with some submissions, right? Now,
that's not giving him enough credit, man. He took him down multiple times. He dropped him once. And if there was 10 seconds left in that round, he would have won with a submission win.
For sure. He would have finished.
That was about as dominant. That should have been a 10-8 round. I don't know if they scored at one, but that was a 10-8 round.
I would have loved to see in the second round for Brunson to do the level change, fake the level change, and come back up with some strikes. Because if you would have
noticed, that's how he landed.
Cannonier's hands went to like a mid guard, and he was keeping them there because every time that he would feint, he would drop his hands right away.
Yeah.
Ready to get those underhooks, right? And he landed a couple shots like that. But I would love to see him do it so much more, because every single time that Brunson even flinched, like he was going to go with the level change, there's so much movement from Cannonier, man.
Big reaction.
Such a huge reaction.
But and that was the thing. Like that second round, Brunson was just chasing that takedown. That it was almost like Cannonier could do that, right? He wasn't mixing it up. He was only chasing the takedown. So every time he did level change, even if it was a feint, Brunson could or Cannonier could drop like that to embrace the takedown. It was a mixture of two things. They talked about it earlier in the night too. They didn't talk about it really in this fight, where what's more exhausting, chasing takedowns and repeatedly trying to get the takedown, or repeatedly defending the takedown. And I think it's not black and white, right? It depends on how far you get in on the shots. It depends on how much they have to defend the takedown or if they're shrugging it off like Cannonier was. But in this situation, Brunson was chasing the takedown in the second round. Yep. And Cannonier could just bully him off and then land his shots, bully him off. And eventually, I mean, Brunson looked like a zombie out there in the second round. He was gassed.
Super gassed.
And Cannonier, he hits so goddamn hard. He hits so hard.
What a name, Cannonier.
I know, dude. It's so good.
Perfect for him.
That shot he landed, and then he follows it up with the backhand. That backhand snapped his head around.
Oh yeah,
that was nasty. And then the follow-up shots to put him out.
Well, those elbows once Brunson was
got him down
were disgusting, man. And then the ref stops it, and he lands that last elbow. And when you see it slow motion, he drops that elbow right by his right eye.
Yeah,
and you just see it open up and it start bleeding. And I'm like,
oh, dude, yeah. It kind of reminded me of Nick Diaz versus Paul Daly, where it's kind of like a scuffle where Nick lands clean on Paul, and then Paul kind of like goes like this a little bit, and then like falls backwards. He lands in a scuffle. Brunson is just like fading, and he's like the top of his body is like. It's like he's on a boat, right? He's got sea legs. And then Cannonier closes the distance and just tosses him down. He just grabbed him and just kept with the momentum that he was wobbly on already and just threw him down, lands the ground and pound, and then you see the towel come in. And I rejoiced.
And I rejoiced.
When's the last time you saw a towel get thrown?
It's been a while, and I saw the towel get
Nate
thrown.
Versus Thompson?
No, I feel like there's been another one after that. I just can't remember exactly where. But yeah. I respect the towel being thrown in. I mean, maybe it could have. I don't know. I don't know. It was at that point. It was done.
Well, as the refs stopped the fight, you see the towel drop into frame, and I think the towel got thrown in more as this is enough. Like, hey, you should have stopped this a few strikes ago. More than, hey, our guy's down, I'm going to end this. It was more like, you know what I mean? It was more like, dude, do your fucking job and stop this fight.
Yeah.
But it could have got tossed in earlier for sure. But the fact
that was Mike Beltran, he would have picked that shit up and just wiped, Brunson off and be like, all right, keep on going. Sorry for the interruption, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Man, he watched him die earlier. But yeah, that was Cannonier's got to get the title shot, right?
I mean, what else is next for Cannonier?
Because Izzy won, obviously if Rob won, they would have done the rematch right away. But Izzy won. Strickland was kind of hoping the Hermanson fight would get him a title shot, and they kind of passed at that. But Dana said that he was kind of waiting to see what happened with this fight also. I think what they might have done is if Brunson didn't win, or if Cannonier didn't win the way that he won, they might have done Strickland versus Cannonier, and the winner of that gets a title shot. Or if Brunson won with wrestling, they probably would have made him fight Strickland one more time or get him one more win. But now you have to, right? Cannonier versus Izzy, that's the fight to make.
Yeah, that's the only one that makes sense right now. And even Izzy said, he's like, hey, I saw this guy Cannonier, put his opponent out. That'd be a good next fight.
Izzy has been rooting for Cannonier for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
And every time Cannonier gets close, he drops it, right? The Whittaker fight. It just happens, right? Every time he gets super close. But this is now Brunson on a very big win streak. People were talking about Brunson versus Izzy already for a rematch. And now you got a fresh opponent for Izzy instead of a rematch. And you just let it go. Just let it happen, right? So like these, there's been too much like gatekeeping on title shots lately, it seems like. Just let people go through. Even if they don't quite, as a champion clears out a division, I think the bar for getting a title shot starts to drop. It starts to get lower. It should at least. Because otherwise you get someone like Whittaker, who now has 2 losses to the champ, who beats every number one contender, and then there's no fresh opponents for the champion. So let it go.
Man. And for Cannonier, this would be huge because he's one of the ones that has gone on publicly saying, hey, I've been broke. Most of my pay goes straight to paying off a lot of debt and stuff like that. So I'm rooting for him, man. And hopefully we get the show going. And they both fought on the same day, which is awesome. So the time frame, yeah, everything lines up perfectly. And Izzy said, hey, I know that there's not a main event for June yet. like I'm down. God, I love how active Izzy is. I love. This is how active a champion should be.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's easier when you're this dominant too.
Yeah, that is true.
When you're not going through dogfights every title defense like Robbie Lawler, it's like
true. Before that, we had Hernandez versus Moicano. Now
another
going into this one,
win.
I said if Hernandez can keep the standing, right, do a good job of moving left and right, using the octagon well, he can win this with the striking.
Yeah.
The problem is that he didn't. And Moicano was able to close that distance, take him down, and do what he does best.
Yep. Also, Hernandez, not a big fan, right? Ever since I was a fan, his talent is he has very high ceiling as far as his skill set goes. But ever since that Cowboy fight where he's like calling him an old man and like talking a bunch of shit to him, and then Cowboy just completely humbles him, finishes him, right?
With that beautiful combo.
Yeah, ever since then, I've rooted against Hernandez.
Dang, hey, do you hold grudges on Brunson, Hernandez?
Yeah, dude, lose my number.
We need Demopoulos
to
hop on the podcast and tell you to stop being a grumpy man.
Yeah, but Moicano, I'm also a really big fan of, and he's had some ups and downs in his career, man. I really like Moicano, and if you look at his losses, dude, I mean, he's what 16 and 0 or 16 and 5,
16 and 4.
16 and 4. Okay,
16 and 4.
So he came into the UFC undefeated, very high prospect, right? When he beat Jeremy Stevens, it was like, oh, this guy his skill set's very elite, and he's beating big names now. Then he loses to Ortega, and it's like, shit, right? Then he beats Calvin Kattar and Cub Swanson. But you look at the guys that he has lost to, it's now Ortega, Aldo, Korean Zombie, and Fiziev. Like, he only loses to the elite of the elite, you know? These are all either people who have fought for the belt or are former champions or someone who is very much on the path to a belt in Fiziev. So I thought going into this, Hernandez, I don't think he is that elite type guy. And I was like, Moicano eventually will close the distance. And I think I had Moicano by sub, and it was very cool to see him get it. I like that he's now he's on a 2-fight win streak. It's the first time he's been on a win streak since 2018. You know, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, and thank you, DC, for letting Moicano go on that rant at the end, because it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
I love that guy, man. He's
like,
cool.
I love USA. I love Texas. Texas likes big things, big stakes, and I like big checks. And I was like, dude, I fucking love this guy. He's so awesome.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping he would get a performance bonus for this one, but I agree with who ended up getting it. But yeah, that's
later
now,
on.
Yeah, and that's now 2 rear naked choke wins in a row for Moicano. His jiu-jitsu is dangerous, super dangerous,
elite. I like elite jiu-jitsu.
That's actually his last 4 wins. I mean, the 4 wins haven't been in a row, but his last 4 wins have all come by rear naked choke. Now that I'm looking at it.
Oh, really?
That's crazy. Cub Swanson, rear naked choke, round 1. Hadzovic, rear naked choke, round 1. Jai Herbert, round 2, rear naked choke. Hernandez, round 2, rear naked choke.
Bet the house. So now, next fight, Moicano by rear naked choke.
Round 3, he goes round 1, round 1, round 2, round 2.
He continues progressing.
Yeah.
Oh, you cracked the code, Will.
Yeah. Also, Hernandez was also complaining about being on the prelims. Like, he's like, how the fuck am I on the prelims? And it's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
But then they rewarded him.
That Costa syndrome, you know, where he feels like he should have like this power or something like that. It's like, dude, you got to do something first.
You got to do something, man. I mean, Costa at least did for a while, right?
Costa but his demands, Paulo Costa's demands is for long reigning champion.
I know.
He's ridiculous. And Hernandez, having done even less than Paulo Costa, should have 0 demands.
Yeah.
0.
Anytime you see Hernandez talking shit about anything, just bet the house against him. Because the guy's on.
Why'd UFC not give me an NFT chain? You know, I was like, shut up.
Like, what would they put on it? You complaining about Cowboy being old?
Him getting knocked out by Cowboy? The best combo, one of the best combos in UFC history.
I swear, every time, like, you know, there's like all those shitty YouTube videos that have like 1 million views, and they're like a camera recording the TV, but it's like when trash talking goes wrong in mixed martial arts or some shit like that.
Yeah,
it's like someone being an asshole, then they get knocked out. And Hernandez has like a few of those.
The best combos in UFC history, the ones that always come to mind, is the Cowboy Cerrone on Hernandez, and then
That's
McGregor against Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
Those are solid.
Cowboy's on that twice. Cowboy has that Rick Story one also. That was nuts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anything else on that fight though?
No. Shout out Moicano. I'm glad he's getting the wins that he's getting right now.
Also, shout out to Bobby Green, man. We got Green versus Haqparast. Now, Bobby Green coming out. Dude, the way that he comes out dancing, he doesn't come through as cocky or anything like that. You know what I mean? Which I absolutely love. He's dabbing friends as he's walking out, and fans, and taking his hat off and tossing in the crowd, his shirt off, tossing in the crowd. It's an event just from him walking out from the locker room to the octagon and hearing the amount of love that Green is getting now is beautiful.
Dude, it's so cool because, I mean, I've been such a huge fan of Bobby Green since, like, the early days when everybody hated him for wow, dude, stop talking shit in the cage and start checking leg kicks. That's why you lose all the time. And it's like, damn, people don't see, like, how cool he is. Like, people used to talk shit about him so much, but, like, now, like you said, like, he's getting so much love. Like, it's so cool to see because the guy has gone through so much in his life, so much adversity that would turn off anybody's drive, and yet he's still doing what he's doing, performing on new levels. This was his career best performance, I thought, and still just completely outpouring positive like affirmations to everybody. You know, like the guy is, I mean, what a specimen, dude. The stuff that he lost both his brothers within 1 year, foster care his whole life, had to go into hiding because people were trying to kill him, and now he's out there performing. I mean, what an
spreading
elite
love,
performance.
Will.
And
spreading love. Not to Haqparast, but to everybody else.
Yeah.
Spreading love.
Even the Haqparast after the fight. I mean, the guy is just such a positive staple, even though he's gone through so much in his life. I mean, how can you not be a fan?
To the last picture, Rich? So the thing with Bobby Green, right, is that he doesn't have your traditional defense like Haqparast here with the high guard. But the way that he walks in with his hands so low, you know, being able to hit the jab, the uppercuts, dude, from that angle,
straight forward, like in front of his hips almost, and he's just tossing them up, fucking crazy.
And so for Haqparast, even with that high guard, he's splitting those elbows, man, and hitting you right on the nose, right on the mouth, repeatedly.
Yeah, he bloodied him up, man.
Dude, it was such a fantastic performance. His hand speed.
And the way he rolls with shots is probably better than anybody.
Money, man. Money. I mean, it's not as good as, like, let's say, a Floyd Mayweather, but that shoulder roll that he has is fantastic.
Well,
and I think
keep in mind, it's much harder to shoulder roll in MMA, right? Floyd gets away with it even more because how big the glove is in boxing. Yes. There's more surface area that your shoulder can catch and deflect. So the fact that he can do it with the small gloves is crazy.
But there was plenty of times where Haqparast would come through with a straight, and you see it like slow motion where the wrist is now on the shoulder, and the fist, which would have hit him right on the jaw, is now like scraping the top of his head. And he points it out too, like he'll point at his shoulder after he blocked it with the shoulder, and I'm like, look, here's a perfect shot. Look. So for anybody not really paying attention and they see Bobby Green's hands are down, they're like, oh, dude, this guy's just letting himself get hit. No, I mean, this is a perfect example of that where he's just allowing it to roll off his shoulder. So
yeah, it rolls off his shoulder, and even when it does come through, his head movement is so good to just roll with the shot that even when it connects, he's moving with it. So sometimes the shots look more damaging than they are, but you notice he's never wobbled. The reason he's never wobbled is because he's moving with the shot. He's taking some of the energy out of it, right? Did you see the stat? Most significant strikes landed in UFC lightweight history.
Yes, sir.
1,404. He's
Bobby Green.
He's damn near 200 above the next guy who's retired. 300 above the next guy who's retired. 300 against the next guy, Donald Cerrone, which I don't know what. I think he's got one more fight, maybe. I don't know. Dustin's 300. Dustin Poirier, a guy who's known for volume, is 300 strikes behind him.
That's nuts.
He landed 188 strikes this fight.
Just again, absolute clinic by Green. And props to Haqparast who tried. He hung in there. He didn't just sit back and look lost. He had a game plan in there. He tried to implement it. He tried to strike back, but it was just he couldn't solve that puzzle. That's what Bobby Green. He's a freaking puzzle, man.
Well, so he couldn't. He never really adapted, right? And that's kind of what we look for. We've talked about it before. Like that's what we look for in guys, especially young guys. And we gauge them. Usually, at least the two things that I look for the most is, can they deal with adversity, right? When they're faced with it, can they come back in those moments? Tai Tuivasa weathered the storm against Derek Lewis. He came through that adversity and won.
FTA.
Yeah. The other thing is, can they make adjustments mid-fight? That's such a high level thing to do. It's so much hard. It's easy when we're sitting there watching it. It's like, oh, Bobby Green's just jabbing his face off. Maybe start mixing in takedowns. Maybe try slipping it. Maybe try evading it. Like you can't just stand there with your high guard because you're getting picked apart.
Yeah.
And he didn't make the adjustment.
My whiskey, like, what's he doing?
Yeah, eating a burger, like, but he never made that adjustment, right? And that's not to say that he can't make adjustments in a fight, but yeah, he just never tried changing anything, right? It was pretty much he just came forward, hands up. He did land shot. I mean, he landed 76 strikes. That's I think more than
well, how much of those were really landed, like you said?
True, yeah, but he landed the same amount of strikes that Adesanya made or landed in his fight in 3 rounds.
Hey, shout out to Buffalo Chase, by the way. Buffalo Chase so smooth, man. Last night.
Hey man, we're not sponsored. What are you doing?
Not yet, dude.
That's free sponsorship right there. Not yet.
All right. Before that, though, and we, I don't know if you want to speed it up a little bit with the last ones.
Yeah, I mean, we'll touch on Arlovski versus Vanderaa, right? Not a great fight. One of the judges gave it to Vanderaa, which is fucking insane to me. I thought clearly rounds 1 and 2 went to Arlovski. I just want to give props to Arlovski briefly, right? Just because, I mean, the guy's still doing it, and it's not the most exciting. And I know there's a lot of people that dislike watching his fights now. But, I mean, the guy's getting wins because he's completely changed his style, and that deserves some respect.
For sure. Still adjusting even at 43 years old.
Yeah.
And then we had Modafferi versus O'Neal. Dude, props to Modafferi. She was game this fight, man.
Well, how about the same judge that gave Modafferi the win here gave it to Vanderaa in the next fight? So for sure, fire that guy.
What's he doing? What's this guy doing, man? Yeah. But dude, it's just one of those cases, man, where Modafferi was one of the pioneers of women's MMA. The end of an era. So she wanted to go out with a bang. She stood toe to toe with O'Neal. But at this stage, just too slow, man. Telegraphs what she's going to do. O'Neal was just too fast, better footwork. But dude, she's as tough as they come, Modafferi.
And we talk about making adjustments. I mean, she made adjustments to win the last round. She got picked apart in that first round. Saw the opportunity in the second of what she maybe needs to change in her game plan to win rounds, and then made those adjustments and won the third round. And that's hard to do, just like Arlovski. Very hard to do in a fight. Very hard to do that far into your career. But man, what a dogfight! Casey O'Neal is the real deal,
For sure, for sure.
The volume that she landed on, and how cool was it to see the crowd support that Roxy got after the fight?
Yeah,
really cool. I was like,
it was.
I expected some crowd support, but man, they went crazy for her. It was so loud, and I was like, damn, that's fucking cool, man. Because people kind of clowned her a little bit throughout her career,
Yeah.
But man, like you said, a true pioneer for mixed martial arts.
Well deserved recognition for Miss Modafferi.
And I think Dana hinted at maybe getting her a position at the UFC, which is cool.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say getting her an NFT.
No.
Before that, we had Phillips versus Rojo, man. Phillips versus Rojo. Yeah, we're all bummed out about this one right now. Going in, we knew this would be a tough fight for Rojo.
Dude, man, it shows you what the UFC sees in Rojo, though. The fact that his first 2 UFC fights are Jourdain and Kyler Phillips. They know they got someone here, and he just hasn't been able to quite make that happen. But goddamn, some tough matchups. Can we get him an easier opponent? Jesus Christ.
And Rojo went in the largest underdog. I think it was like plus 400, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was.
And, I was like, that's a big gap. That's a big gap. And I didn't really see it going in, but as the fight progressed, you saw Phillips is a very well-rounded fighter, and he just seemed to be a step ahead of Rojo. throughout the entire night.
I thought after the first round, I was like, okay, Phillips definitely took that round, right? He was much more active. He's so fast, but he slows down. And in that second round, I mean, they both landed over 30 strikes, and I think Phillips landed like 3 more shots than him. It was a much closer round. And I was like, okay, if this is a textbook Rojo performance, right, he's going to slow down even more in the third, and that might be the time where Rojo can take advantage of that and maybe take him out in the third. And it didn't happen. But god damn it, I really wanted him to win this one.
Yeah, I had a good friend of ours will reach out and say, Rojo's got a shot on this, but if it goes to Phillips Jiu-Jitsu, we're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And sure enough, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very slick submission, right? Respect for Kyler Phillips. I mean, we've been high on Kyler Phillips in the past, and I'm not going to hold a grudge.
Oh, for sure.
Like I do with Brunson and Hernandez on him.
You sure, man? That's what you're saying now.
I know. But, yeah, I mean, it was just a little bit too much, Outstruck him when it got to the ground. He just put it on him. Very slick to switch that armbar in that position.
But this isn't the end of Marcelo Rojo by any means, man. This guy has a very, very bright future ahead of him. So,
And I mean, he's training with Brandon Moreno and shit. Like, dude, like the guy, he's very good, and like I think he's still getting better. 100%. I'm very excited to see him get another one.
Before that, we had Martinez.
What does Kyler Phillips do now?
I mean, he's got to break into the top 15, right?
You would think, right? Give him like a Sunsao or Simone. Maybe did he fight Simone already?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but maybe that fight. I would like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Song Yadong.
I think Song Yadong has to move up. Well, he already beat Song Yadong, didn't he?
Or if you would really want to break him out and start building the star, you know who I'm going to say?
O'Malley or what?
Nah, dude. Nah.
Oh, that's how you build the star. If someone beats O'Malley.
Give him a Frankie Edgar. Start giving him.
Fuck you. How dare you?
Start giving him these big names that everybody knows.
How dare you?
You know that would be a good move, though.
Well, yeah, from the UFC standpoint, if they want to market the next guy, but
that's
can we
what I'm
stop
saying.
Making the old legends fight the young killers?
No,
the UFC always does this, and I get why they do it because it makes sense for like marketing and promoting somebody.
100%.
Anytime a legend starts aging, they start giving them absolute murderers, and they never get to finish gracefully.
But it's also up to the absolute legend to say, you know what? If I keep at this, I'm not going to finish gracefully.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want to see that.
While you're in there, I know. I love me some Frankie Edgar too. But I think if we are going to start building up that, if we're going to start building up that star that is Kyler Phillips, we got to start getting them some names that a lot of people recognize.
Yeah, I get
like a Frankie Edgar. All right, we had Martinez versus Lawrence before that. So going into this, I said, okay, if Lawrence focuses on his wrestling,
we're skipping Olberg and Charant because obvious reasons. But Lawrence versus Mana, yeah, let's just go there. Yeah.
But with Martinez versus Lawrence, if Lawrence was able to stick to his wrestling, it was going to be a long night for Martinez. But then Martinez showed in that third round why everybody's high on this kid because of that freaking power that he carries in that right hand.
And not just the power, but the way he sets up his combos. God damn, his combos are good. They're not just one big overhand, like he's very good with his hands. God damn. Yep. This was like a night of comebacks too. I mean, did you notice that? Like,
yes.
I mean, this was. Oh
my god.
He lost the first round, 10-8 second round, and then the third round comes out, and it was so close to finishing the fight. He almost got him out of there. It was so close. Maybe a little bit more distance, he would have got the win. But Lawrence, I mean, took it to him in the first couple. He dropped him in what round?
I think it was the first and second that he dropped him.
Yeah, I think he got like 3
dropped
knockdowns,
him multiple
right?
times. Dropped him multiple times.
I think he dropped him 3 times. The fact that Martinez can come out in the third round after a 10-8 round and almost finish the fight.
So close, man. So close.
Yeah.
All right. Anything
and I was
else?
rooting for him too. Shout out James Krause. The James Krause in his corner.
I know. Before that, we're going to be skipping over Dobson and Malkoun. For anybody that didn't watch, Dobson rocks Malkoun the first round. Malkoun comes back the second and third and
grinds him out.
Yeah. Before that, we had Morozov versus Andrade.
I'm so high on Morozov that after that first round, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. And then Andrade just fucking unloads with power. I mean, he hits so hard.
Yeah, I think we were talking to Jacob the Tiger, right? Where he's like, dude, if anybody's name ends in Ov,
yeah,
we're in
be
trouble.
Careful.
Be careful. Yeah, and dude, he looked like a killer that first round.
I mean,
very accurate.
Dude is a killer. You know, dude is very much killer. Almost put him out in that first round.
So this picture that when I saw it, the only thing I can think of is that record scratch. You know, it's like you might be thinking how I got here or wondering how I got here. Dude, I had him out. After that first round, I was like, oh, there's just no way he's going to come back from this.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude.
That uppercut that dropped him. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And then that knee.
The cut was flowing, man.
Cut was flowing. The elbow against the cage got the cut open. That knee to the head up against the cage was nasty.
Hey,
that
shout
combo,
out to the Texas Athletic State Commission too, because you know they're like, oh, he's got to try to knock him out this round because if the doctor sees this, it might be over. Doctor takes a look at this, dude. He's good.
Yeah, well, luckily it was on the side here, right? So it wasn't gonna. Right, the cut technically it should only be stopped if the cut's gonna bleed into the eye. So he was good
either way, YOLO, dude.
Damn, look at that cut though.
It was nasty. It was flowing.
It was nasty. Yeah, and then he comes out and drops him 3 times in the second round.
I know.
What a comeback!
And you wish you see that from fighters more often. Where again, I'll use this word again: urgency. He knew that first round, like he's losing badly. So this fight, I'm going to come out. I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at him and see what we can make happen.
Yeah, and
he ends up choking him out.
What does Dan Murgliata have to see to score a 10-8 round? Because I thought that first round was a clear 10-8 round. Like, what else? But the new rules, that's a 10-8 round.
He needs to see his soul leave.
Yeah. In the second round, if it went the distance, he's like, that's still a 10-9.
Yeah.
Drops him 3 times. But, man, Morozov just talk about, I don't know if it was the output from the first that kind of gassed him or just the heavy, massive shots in the second. Because he looked like Brunson, right, in the second round, where he just couldn't get away. He's like wobbly a little bit. He looks exhausted. Everything he throws.
Well, we're wondering how much he emptied out too, trying to take.
That's what I mean.
Andrade
was it the output? Was it the output in the first, or the heavy shots that he kept eating in the second, or just both? Right. I mean, it's probably both, right? But man, Andrade, what a killer! This was another one. I think it was a massive underdog. I think Andrade was.
Oh man. Okay. Wells versus Diamond, Blood Diamond. Yeah, this was another one.
Yeah.
I was very high.
I'm still very high.
Yeah.
This is a debut. Debuts rarely go well.
The story of this fight was experience. No pun intended.
Yeah, and was it a bait and switch by Wells to trip against the fence to start the fight?
Ooh, maybe.
Because Blood Diamond should have just done nothing there. Should have just measured his approach. Instead, he blitzed him and clinched the guy who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, where he's the kickboxer. He should have just kept his distance and said, all right, yeah, whatever. Do your weird sprint at the start of the fight and trip on the cage. That's cool. I'm just still going to try to pick you apart from the outside. Instead, he engaged him in a clinch. And as soon as he did that, I was like, fuck, no. But he did an excellent job defending the rear naked choke for 4 minutes of the round.
Yeah, I think I don't think that was on purpose, right? I think Jeremiah Wells he needs to work on his shapes, because an octagon has corners.
His cagemanship was lacking.
Yes, his cagemanship non-existent, some would say.
Yeah.
Oh man, all right, but not much to that fight. Wells chokes Blood Diamond now in his debut,
man,
but that will not be the last of it. That will not be the last of Blood Diamond.
No, I still think I'm still very high on him. I'm interested to see who they give him next, right? Only 3 MMA fights. I see a lot of people who are like, guys, I don't know why anybody's hyped on this guy. He's 34 and he only has 4 MMA fights. Like, no one should be hyped on him.
It's
like, all right, dude. Fights. Yeah, like, let's just ignore his 51 kickboxing wins. Okay. Yeah, he's 34 years old with no experience. Come on.
Nuts, man. Nuts. All right.
Yeah.
Before that, we had Knight versus Grishin.
Well, I mean, yeah, what even was this? William Knight comes in, 12 pounds overweight? They move the fight to heavyweight for him.
He looked every bit of 217 pounds.
Yeah, he looked massive.
Yes. Let's be real though, man. Knight didn't want to be in there. And I know it's easy for me to say, sitting over here right now, talking on this podcast, my company.
Look, I didn't want to be in there either. I would have looked the same in there.
Yeah, but that's why you're not in there, though. You know what I mean? Where to miss weight by 12 pounds, you're just like, I don't want to cut weight. It is what it is. I'll lose that part of the fucking purse, and it is what it is. I'd rather lose that part of the purse than have to go through the grueling weight loss, the weight cut.
Great. I mean, what I don't know who his management is, but man, they really dropped the ball. I know he took this fight on very short notice, but they should have said, yeah, we'll take this fight if you can move it up to heavyweight. Because now, and if they say, no, we can't do that, then you don't take the fight. Because if they knew he's never going to make 205, now he comes in 12 pounds overweight, has performance like that, that might be his last time in the UFC. They might have cut him for that.
Maybe, because, again, he came in overweight, looked sloppy. His exchanges were sloppy. He was throwing some wide hooks, looping hooks, and when he'd miss, like straight up would spin and fall. And it was just a very bad showing. I mean, good for Grishin, capitalizing on that, getting a little bit extra getting a little bit extra. Now, I'm here talking all this trash about Knight, and Grishin actually missed weight his previous fight, but
not by 12 pounds.
Not by 12 pounds, and he had a better showing when he missed weight still either way. But yeah, just I got the impression that Knight just didn't want to be in there, man. You know, and it's okay. Some fighters will just reach that point where like, this isn't what I want to do anymore.
Yeah. But, I mean, why take the fight on short notice if that's not what you want to do anymore?
Maybe a couple, 10 grand, 15 grand real quick.
Maybe. I don't know.
But that was it.
Puzzling, though.
That was the last of the
card
fights.
in a nutshell.
That was a card in a nutshell. You're right. Do we have anything
else?
What
we do here. Performance of the night, right? Derek Lewis gets the performance of the night bonus, which he deserves. Cannonier got one as well. And then Andrade versus Morozov was the fight of the night.
Oh, nice.
Which they deserve.
And what fights were canceled?
Yeah, moment of silence for the fights that got canceled off of this one. Vince from Hell Pichel was supposed to fight Marco Madsen.
Oh, he's fun.
Sucks Vince because Pichel he's on a roll right now.
From Hell Pichel, that's such a good nickname. From Hell Pichel.
Talk about a good mustache. We should have put him on the straighter.
Why didn't we?
Interview. I don't know. We already had like 12.
We let him down.
Yeah. Blood Diamond was supposed to fight Kosuke? I don't know. That was his original opponent, but he pulled out. Wells took over, got the win. Ed Herman was originally supposed to fight Maxim Grishin, but the big one was, for me, was Alex Perez versus Matt Schnell. I really wanted to see that fight. Perez missed weight. Schnell declined the fight, which is in his right to do so. I think they've tried to make this fight happen now 4 times in a row, and it's fallen through. So maybe we just move on.
Might be that time.
Yeah.
Might be that time. All right. Well, one thing I did want to call out in the group text that we have with Rich the Casual, he asked about watching the fights.
He did. Well, I don't know if you watched the episode that me and him did, but he said in that episode that he was going to be watching this event.
Wow. Rich the
Casual. So
not
only did he watch it, but he planned on watching it.
Maybe not so casual anymore.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I know he watched Cannonier, Lewis, Tuivasa, and the Izzy fight. So let's give a quick Rich the Casual appearance, and let's hear what he thought of each fight, what his lasting thoughts were.
Okay, so
because it's so dramatic.
I've been summoned. Tuivasa is fucking sick. That shit was tight. I've seen Derek Brunson fight before, haven't I?
Probably
3 months ago or 4 months ago, right?
Maybe.
I remember
the guy that looks like Cisco is probably what you remembered. Yeah.
So I don't know. Hasn't Cannonier fought before in the last 3 months?
He has fought before, yeah.
As well. Well, I just know that Cannonier looks fucking vicious. I just don't want to be on the receiving end of anything he throws. You know, like whatever it might be. He could throw me a pie, and I wouldn't want to be in the way. Dude, that shit's crazy. And then I just felt bad for Derek Brunson being so dazed in the ring like that. Like I was like, he doesn't know where he is. Like, shouldn't he be DQ'd? Yeah. Shouldn't they do the eye test? You know, with the flashlight. I saw them do that. Like
I think they know he's concussed at that point.
The last one. I don't know. And then in the next fight with Tai Tuivasa, man, that was pretty cool. I told my girlfriend that was watching as well. She was like, I was like, he's about to drink beer out of his shoe, and then he did, and she was like, I'm glad you told me that because people started handing him shoes and I didn't know why. She's like,
he did like 4 in a row.
I thought he had his own shoe.
God, I love him, man.
that he did for that, you know. And
God,
so
that
was pretty
that
cool.
That might have been the Darren Till fight that you watched. Derek Brunson versus Darren Till.
Maybe for the last time y'all forced me on the show. And the other time that, and like I like that in the interview afterward. I just listened to it. I wasn't watching. I was sitting up some speakers, but I like that he was like, "I'm gonna be the champ." I was like, "Yeah, I guess everyone has to say that, but I believe him." You know, when he says that, you know. And then the only takeaway I have, being the casual that I am, of the Adesanya fight. You know, when Will told me that he was a counter striker, it made a lot more sense that he was waiting, kind of ready to pounce on someone that gives them enough rope to hang themselves. But like, he just looks like if you looked up a fighter in a dictionary, it'd be him. Like, he's lithe, he's strong, he's not too big but not too small, good range, and lighting fast like a panther, you know, like they called Michael Jordan the Black Cat. Like, I think it's Adesanya is the Black Cat, you know. And like, he's just so shiny under the lights that I thought he slipped out of all that rear naked choke so easily. Like, is he like lubed up? Is it sweat? Like,
no, that's illegal. You can't lube up.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But he just looks shiny, like shinier than other people. You know, so
those he shines bright, man.
Will said you never know what Rich is gonna say, and I don't think y'all were gonna think I was gonna say that. So
Rich's rants, man. Rich's rants. That's what we should name this. Yeah, at the very end, every
if he watches the card,
every blue moon.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you to everybody who listened to another episode of
real quick.
This was fun.
Who's that guy with the long hair? Will? Because I think my hair is like his.
It is very similar.
It's a combination of Kyler Phillips and Street Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of Masvidal. So, yes. But yeah, another fun week. And I was back. I'm sorry, everybody. I missed last week, but y'all did a fantastic job. The episode was pretty fun. I tried to be with y'all in spirit.
Mm-hmm. Next week, we got Story of the Fight alum taking on Jesse Strader, taking on Chad and Hellinger. Next week's card. So shout out Jesse Strader. Let's get a win.
Yeah,
super
for sure.
To see him fighting there. That's a fun card.
Should be a super fun card.
They pulled Kaziev and RDA off of it, but still a fun card.
No. Anybody, if you like our content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget, you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, of course, your YouTube, Breaker, Radio Public, Pocket Casts. Pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast.
Yep. At Story of the Fight on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. There's a group chat on Facebook, Story of the Fight chat. And here on YouTube, just comment on here.
It's always a blast when you do. All right, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for listening to another week of Story of the Fight. Kind of feel sick now after doing that shoey. My tummy hurts.